The former head of a struggling DPW could soon be back with the department. What his new role could be despite past controversies. Two new polls take us inside the minds of Maryland voters. First, how Baltimore residents feel about Mayor Scott's time in office and the candidate they trust more to lead the city.
It's a 5-alarm fire for Brandon Scott.
The juvenile justice laws have Democrat voters divided.
They're polar opposites.
We asked the governor if he will push for these laws to be changed.
You're a thief!
A woman chases down a teen she claims helped steal her car.
There's no repercussions. There's no responsibility.
Our team makes her frustrations heard on this crisis that has victimized thousands. Families lose everything after a sinkhole destroys their homes.
It's been a year and something now, and it's nothing being done.
We shine a light on one homeowner's fight for answers and press the mayor on why they haven't gotten any help.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 10.
We are following breaking news right now. Reports of a possible shooting on the campus of Morgan State University. Fox 45 News reached out to police and are working to learn more information. Stay with Fox 45 News. Our Keith Daniels on the way to the scene. He'll join us live with a report in just a few minutes. Another big breaking story tonight. The former Department of Public Works director could soon be back with DPW. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary Bubala. Jason Mitchell is set to serve as a contract services specialist. His one-year, $72,000 contract is on the Board of Estimates agenda for tomorrow. The news comes just 3 months after Mitchell left his post as the head of the Department of Public Works. Mitchell announced he would step down back in January, citing health issues with his family. Not long after that, the announcement, Fox 45 News obtained a recording of Mitchell talking about how the job took a toll on him and the decision to leave made him feel free.
I woke up today, I felt free. I don't feel oppressed any longer. I don't feel enslaved.
Jason Mitchell faced a number of controversies during his time as DPW director. That includes the Back River wastewater treatment plant. The Maryland Department of Environment ordered the state takeover after numerous problems at the site. A report detailed failures across every level of the city-owned facility. The E. coli water contamination in West Baltimore. The Fox 45 News investigation showed the city knew about the contamination well before they told the public. And while Mitchell and Mayor Scott said they didn't do anything wrong in handling the situation, MDE said the city violated state and federal public notice rules. And finally, recycling pickup. It is still not back up to speed after 2 years. Councilman Yitzi Schleifer and Zeke Cohen have both been outspoken about the problem. On the day Mitchell stepped down, the two councilmen called for him to reinstate regular pickup or resign. The Board of Estimates meeting starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Fox 45 News will be there to demand answers from city leaders about the decision to bring Jason Mitchell back on at DPW. We'll have complete coverage both on air and online. And also breaking tonight, a new test result shows no sign of a parasite in the Druid Lake Reservoir.
That some people are going to leave and take jobs. We're going to continue to fill those positions as quickly as possible, but also maintaining our ability to be a high-functioning city government.
Maxine Stryker, Fox 45 News.
Well, Sheila Dixon is holding a public safety town hall tomorrow night at the New Metropolitan Baptist Church on McCullough Street. It starts at 6. Fox 45 has reached out to both Mayor Scott and Sheila Dixon, inviting the two candidates to participate in a series of Fox 45 News town halls leading up to the Democratic primary. Dixon has agreed to attend a Fox 45 town hall on October 24th, where she will answer your questions and share her plans to address the biggest issues facing Baltimore. Mayor Scott has not yet responded. The poll is also giving us insight into how voters feel about some other key city leaders. Only 26% approve of the job Nick Mosby is doing as Baltimore City Council president. 60% disapprove and 13% don't know. Better news for City State's Attorney Ivan Bates. 57% approve of the job he's doing, 21% disapprove. And we're also keeping tabs on another new poll released today. The Gonzalez poll is taking the pulse of voters at the state level. Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost takes us through those numbers.
The poll indicates a fractured Democratic Party when it comes to holding young people accountable who commit violent crimes. These numbers also come just months before the next General Assembly session, suggesting Governor Wes Moore and other Democrats have work to do to coalesce around one plan moving forward. This new Gonzalez poll out Tuesday morning shows Democrats are split when it comes to juvenile crime laws.
Holding the individuals accountable and responsible.
Pollster Patrick Gonzalez taking a deeper dive into the policy debate, a topic impacting communities in every corner of Maryland, sparking conversations among some lawmakers.
I'm not sure it's because there has been a drop in juvenile crime.
To start reviewing the current juvenile justice laws, especially not charging kids 13 and younger with certain misdemeanor offenses, like car thefts, which is driving crime numbers up from urban Baltimore City, Montgomery, and Prince George's counties to rural Carroll, Wacomico, and Queen Anne's counties.
What we found statewide, 59% of Marylanders say we need a strict approach. 35% said a more moderate approach.
But the split within the Democratic Party is where Gonzalez says the numbers get interesting.
When we looked within the Democratic group and broke it up by white Democrats and black Democrats, they're polar opposites.
62% of white Democrats say they support a more lenient approach to juvenile offenders, while 62% of black Democrats support stricter laws. Did that surprise you?
It did, because whenever you see black Democrats aligning more with the Republican Party than with their own base, that's problematic.
When we have this poll showing 62% of black Democrats are aligned with stricter laws, what does that mean for the Democratic Party come January?
Well, that's going to be a challenge. Get a sense. Listen to each of your members. Listen hard. Don't go along as many times you do where everybody's corralled and everybody just kind of goes along to get along. Listen to what they're saying on the important stuff.
Given the poll, we sent several questions to Governor Wes Moore about 62% of black Democrats supporting stricter penalties for younger offenders, asking, do you agree? Do you plan to introduce legislation to roll back some of the juvenile justice reforms that make it difficult to prosecute juveniles? The question remains whether Democrats can build a coalition in time for legislation in January.
Be real serious about this, because this is real serious stuff.
But this poll suggests voters support a change.
Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
Governor Moore's office responded in a statement tonight saying the Moore-Miller administration is committed to looking at all options with the state legislature to make Maryland's communities safer. The governor not directly answering the questions we sent, though. He's also not giving specific plans on what he wants to change. Well, it's not just voters raising concerns about juvenile crime. We've heard from police, prosecutors, and parents who say lawmakers need to find a way to hold young offenders accountable.
They come in, we can't detain them. They're back in the community the next day. They get picked up for the second one. Can't detain them. They're back in the community again the next day.
If you don't work on this immediately and you say we're going to look at it in January and we're going to ask the governor to sign it in April, May, or June, and it's effective in July or maybe October, the wake of victims is going to be tremendous.
I'm a mother that calls every minute of the hour to see how they're doing. So it makes you scared to even have your children to go outside these days.
House Speaker Adrian Jones and Senate President Bill Ferguson are two of the most powerful lawmakers in Annapolis. If you want to contact them to talk about public safety legislation, their phone numbers, email addresses right there on your screen. That brings us to our question of the day. Do you think lawmakers in Annapolis will follow the will of the voters? In the latest polling, so far 95% of people who voted say no. To make your voice heard, head to foxbaltimore.com/vote. Historic day on Capitol Hill as House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is ousted from his position. It is the first time Congress has voted out the House Speaker, a move spearheaded by several far-right Republicans. McCarthy says he won't run again Now the gavel is up for grabs. Chief Political Correspondent Scott Thuman will take a closer look at the fallout coming up. Coming up on Fox 45 News at 10, a shadow of controversy cast over Police Commissioner Richard Worley's first day on the job. The new questions about how he handled the investigation into an accused murderer. A 1.5-year-long struggle for one Baltimore family after a sinkhole destroyed their home. Why they're saying the city is refusing to take any responsibility for what happened.
Another warm one on the way for Wednesday. Temperatures back into the 80s, but we have signs of monster cool down changes to come. I'm going to let you know when they're going to get here and if it impacts your weekend plans in my Weather Authority forecast.
The anticipation is building in Birdland. Who will the Orioles face in the playoffs? How the wild card series is going and how the Birds are getting ready. And as we head to break, another live look from Morgan State University. We just learned Baltimore police are calling this an active shooter investigation. It's happening along Argonne Drive near Thurgood Marshall Apartments. Everyone in the area is being told to shelter in place. Again, an active shooter situation near Morgan State University. Everybody's being told to really avoid the entire area. Fox 45 News will stay on this developing story. We'll keep you updated on air and online. Have more after the break. We continue to follow the active shooter situation going on right now at Morgan State University. Fox 45's Keith Daniel live from the scene right now. Keith, give us more about information about what's happening there where you are.
Well, Mary, we're live on the campus of Morgan State University. Lots of police presence here. Take a look behind me. They're telling me that this is an active shooter investigation. A police spokesman just came over to tell me, he's confirming now, 4 people shot. We don't know if they are students or whatever, but he's saying that he can confirm 4 people have been shot here. The activity is taking place in what he's describing as a dorm. People live here. People are inside that building, he said, and hunkered down. Police, why all the police presence? Police, he says, are now inside of that building searching for what they believe to be an active shooter inside the building. He says the building is occupied by students. Again, he is describing it as a place where students live, on-campus housing. Again, we're live on campus here. Police, their helicopter unit the Foxtrot is buzzing above. You have several police officers on campus here, several police officers, some of them standing outside here coordinating the efforts, they say, the search effort, they say, that's going on inside of this building. Again, we can confirm per police, 4 people shot now, an active shooter situation. Of course, when we learn more, we'll bring it to you. For now, we're live at Morgan State University. Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.
All right, Keith, if we can, we're going to stay with you for just a little bit. It is an extremely scary situation for students and their
Absolutely.
families as this news gets out. Go ahead, tell us what you're seeing.
Let me interrupt you. Take a look at this gentleman walking here. It's a short rifle, assault rifle. That officer walking there. They seem to be pretty calm outside here, Mary, but we have seen officers rushing to this particular location. We've seen police cars around the perimeter of the campus as well. Several ambulances have also been on call here, or we've seen them buzzing around the campus as well. They have this street blocked off, actually only the police activity happening here. Just wanted to point out that officer with the rifle just passed by, who just passed by.
And also, Keith, are students being told to shelter in place at this point? Because I'm just thinking about them, their families. This is a big campus. I know we've covered other violent incidents there as well.
I did ask the police spokesman if there is a lockdown situation active here at the university. He says not sure about that, but this particular building, he is sure. He says that there are people inside of that building and they, in his words, locked down, or not hunkered down, as they search for an active shooter inside the building. I haven't had the opportunity yet to check Morgan State University's Twitter page or whatever to see if there's an active alert. We just arrived here not long ago, so I haven't had time to take a look at that. Perhaps there is an alert for campus and all of the others about a lockdown situation here, but can't answer that question officially just yet.
All right, Keith, I'm checking Twitter as well to see it. Usually there's an alert that goes out to students campus-wide and parents and whatnot, so we'll try to get some more information. We'll come back to you in just a few minutes as you continue to gather more information. But again, an active shooter situation, 4 people shot on the campus of Morgan State University. We will continue to have coverage in just a moment.
Chaos in Congress as Republicans fire the Speaker of the House, the infighting and what it means now. I'm Scott Thuman on Capitol Hill with the breaking developments.
And we're tracking more warm temperatures. Yes, high temperatures back into the mid to upper 80s today. Records are in the 90s, so not quite there, but 13 degrees above average this afternoon. Guess what? We do it again tomorrow, bright and warm. Temperatures low to mid 80s. I'm going to let you know when we finally could have highs only in the 60s. That's coming up in my Weather Authority forecast in a couple of minutes.
And again, we continue to follow an active shooter situation right now at Morgan State University. 4 people have been confirmed shot. We are told that everyone is being told to stay clear of the area surrounding Thurgood, Marshall Hall, and Murphy Fine Arts Center and to shelter in place. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more coverage. And we continue to follow the breaking news from Morgan State University right now. There is an active shooter situation on campus. Police confirm 4 people have been shot. Students are being told to shelter in place. The university is asking people to stay away from Thurgood Marshall Hall and the Murphy Fine Arts Center. Fox 45's Keith Daniel is live on the scene. We're going to go right back to him in just a moment.
The road through postseason baseball on Fox 45 is sponsored by Johns Hopkins Children's Center.
The Yard sure looked nice tonight. The O's first workout wrapped up around 8:30. The AL East signage was up, as well as postseason baseball and the ALDS at Camden Yards. This is workout 1 of 4, and so the Birds host game 1 of the ALDS Saturday. For now, the Birds are still waiting. The top seed in the American League off until the weekend when the Orioles open up ALDS hosting duties with game 1 at Camden Yards Saturday. Who they will face, that's a waiting game. The Rays-Rangers wildcard series started today, and the winner will head to Baltimore. This is the first time the O's are AL East champs since 2014. A thrilling ALDS then when the Birds swept the Tigers, and Camden Yards was the best it's been in game 2 with Delman Young's bases clearing double for the go-ahead in the 8th. A play and environment being shown to these Birds, so they'll be ready.
Delman Young hitting that and then hitting the double and then seeing him with the orange towels, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that and looking forward to hearing the O chant and with the stadium packed out, so that'd be pretty cool.
It was electric to see, so you just kind of like hoping for that, and you know, kind of gives you the chills every time you watch that video, thinking that's what we could be playing in front of.
And the Rays and Rangers wildcard game 1, Texas won 4-0. Winner of that 3-game series heads to Baltimore this weekend. The O's went 8-5 against Tampa Bay this season and 3-3 against the Rangers.
And we want to see how you're getting ready for Orioles playoff baseball. Share pictures and videos in your favorite Orioles gear. You can make submissions at foxbaltimore.com/chime-in or the WBFF app. You can also scan the QR code on your screen. Fox 45 is your home for the World Series. The action starts Friday, October 27th. You can watch every game right here on Fox 45. Well, coming up, it has been more than a year since the sinkhole wiped out several homes in North Baltimore. Why residents are still pushing the city for help. And another live look from Morgan State University. Keith Daniels on the scene talking to perhaps a student there. There's an active shooter situation with 4 people shot. People are being told to shelter in place. The very latest in just a minute. And we continue to follow the active shooter situation at Morgan State University happening right now. Fox 45's Keith Daniels joins us live from the scene with the very latest. Keith, before we went to break, we saw you interviewing perhaps a student or some young person who was in the area, may have seen or heard something.
That's right, Mary. We just talked to him. In fact, he was in this parking lot. They said that they were outside of this dorm when all of a sudden there was gunfire that broke out. He's a 20-year-old young man. He is not a student here, but he says he was with friends here. He has friends who is a student here. They were just outside, casually standing here, he said, on this parking lot. I'm moving out of the way on this parking lot when suddenly, or near the dorm, when suddenly he says there was gunfire. He said that he heard glass shattering behind him where bullets had struck. He said they all hit the ground trying to protect themselves. I asked him, was it someone in a car who passed by shooting, something like that? He says, no, the bullets just all of a sudden just started flying. No quote unquote drive-by, but he said bullets all of a sudden, someone standing out here started shooting, and then they took cover. We also got images of one of the windows in one of the dorms up there shattered. We have those images of windows in this dorm shot out. But again, police are telling us they are confirming 4 people shot here, an active shooter inside the building. The spokesman told me he's not going to give any more information beyond that because he said that he expects Mayor Brandon Scott and now the newly confirmed Police Commissioner Richard Worley to be en route here to give more information, should they want to give more information about what's happening here. But again, what they're telling us now, active shooter investigation here at this dorm. Someone opened fire, 4 people shot. The young man that we spoke to said that they're okay. The other people in his group, they're okay, but he did say it was his friend who was shot. One of the victims shot.
Oh, Keith, that is so scary and sad, and hopefully that victim is at the hospital getting the treatment that he needs. And as we look at some of the video that you're showing us, we can see that the window shot out is maybe 4 or 5 flights up there, so the dorm room, but he thinks the gunfire came from outside this dorm, not from inside. So the threat wasn't inside, it was more outside in the parking lot.
That's according to this individual. If you look over here to the left, you can see where some of the individuals are still standing here. He describes the shooting. Let's go back over here. I don't want to. He describes the shooting as happening outside here, gunfire here. Not clear if the shooting actually took place outside or if the bullets just came from inside out. Police are trying to determine exactly where the shooting took place, whether it happened inside of the building or outside here. All this young man is saying is that before he knew it, they heard and saw bullets flying in their direction.
And it's interesting because I think what we're seeing is police are obviously inside the building. We saw some flashlights, but that building is still, Keith, on lockdown. Students are still sheltering in place, not being let out at this point. Hopefully they're in contact with their parents and their loved ones. An alert did go out. Again, we started hearing this on the scanners at about 9:45-ish, that there was possible shooting at Morgan State University, and now confirmed that 4 people have been shot. We don't yet know their conditions. We're trying to get that information. But again, we know the mayor is coming to the scene, the police commissioner, Richard Worley, and they will at some point brief the press so we can get some more information out to our viewers. And Keith, are they restricting where the media can go? Are you restricted to that parking lot right there?
Well, Mary, we got here pretty quickly. We are up above here at the scene. I did just get a message that police have staged an area for the meeting that is below the road here at Hill and Argonne. We're going to stay put here for just a bit, and then we're going to go down there because I have a feeling that once you go past that area, you won't be able to come back up. But we do intend to go to the media staging area that an alert just went out about 10 minutes ago that is where they're going to be talking to us. So I presume that's where the mayor and the police commissioner will be. And of course, we will be there too.
All right, and they're still calling it active shooter situation, although in your earlier video just a few minutes ago, police looked like they were in more of a stand down position, and certainly there are people walking around there. So again, we don't know if the suspects are in custody, if they're still searching for one or more people at this point. Any more information in regards to that?
No more information just yet about that, but I can tell you Foxtrot is still buzzing above. But the situation outside, at least to me, it seems rather calm as far as outside. Maybe that's because all of the police officers are inside the building, and that's where all the action is taking place at this time. But again, outside, rather calm. Haven't seen any sign of bringing anyone outside the building in handcuffs or anything like that. But again, lots of police presence. I did just see another police commander roll up, obviously going up to get information. And again, these people are still, the fellow I was talking to, he's still standing outside, so police are not telling anybody to leave the area. They're concentrating on what's happening inside that building.
Absolutely, that makes sense. All right, Keith, stand by. I know you're continuing to gather information. We're going to break from you for a minute so you can continue to do that. And we're going to move on with news, but we will continue to monitor this breaking news situation. Again, 4 shot on the campus of Morgan State University tonight, an active shooting investigation ongoing. Keith, thank you. Well, one North Baltimore homeowner says the city still refuses to take any responsibility more than a year after a sinkhole severely damaged their homes. Rebecca Pryor has been following the story for months and shares the very latest.
As the grass grows,
This would have been my living room.
so do Quentin Bell's frustrations.
Now I'm up in some weeds.
Beside the bus stop, where his front steps once stood, until a sinkhole swallowed them whole.
There's nothing here now.
Over a year ago, the city deciding to demolish Bell's home along with several others after the collapse of a massive 115-year-old stone arch storm drain formed that sinkhole, a natural disaster not covered by Bell's insurance. And in a letter sent to residents, the city's law department also denying liability, despite a FOX45 investigation revealing the aging infrastructure hadn't been inspected in decades.
The way that I've been treated, it just seemed like they trying whatever they can to not pay, none of us.
Forced to take the city to court, Bell says the case continues to be postponed, racking up his legal fees and delaying any chance at compensation as he struggles to pay a mortgage on a property that no longer exists.
I don't even know what's going on with the lot. I don't even know if I can sell it.
Along with his home and just about everything his family owned.
Pictures from my grandfather that passed away, my wedding suit. I would never be able to put that on again. It's just was stuff in there that didn't have no price, but it was meant a whole lot to me.
Bell says his trust in city government also destroyed.
It's just gone.
This afternoon, FOX45 sending questions to Mayor Brandon Scott's office asking, do you believe these residents should be reimbursed for their losses? And what is your response to residents who have lost everything, saying you've abandoned them in their time of need? So far, the mayor refusing to respond.
I understand it's their job, but at the same time, right is right and wrong is wrong.
Leaving Bell and the other homeowners to keep fighting a long and strenuous legal battle, one that worsens with the weeds and still shows no end in sight.
What we're going through is wrong 110%.
And that was Rebecca Pryor reporting. Fox 45 News will continue to demand answers from city leaders surrounding aging infrastructure. And you can find all of our past reporting on sinkholes online right now at foxbaltimore.com.
And if you're thinking about getting the kids ready for school tomorrow, yes, it's shorts and short sleeves, and it's going to be an outdoor recess. Feeling like summer, temperatures in the 80s. I'm going to let you know how long that's going to last. And yes, there's an end in sight, and I'll let you know if it's going to come with rain or not. That's in my Weather Authority forecast.
active shooter situation on the campus of Morgan State University. 4 people have been shot. This is the tweet that Morgan State put out about 15 to 20 minutes ago. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more live coverage.
All right, a look outside right now, taking a beautiful peek here at Camden Yards. We're going to get our practices started over the next couple of days. We've got baseball back here for postseason on Saturday, and there could be some weather concerns, we'll say. 67 right now, clear skies, just a gorgeous night with humidity at 87%. Right now, Toyota East Union Harbor Skycam clear. But with that dew point close to the temperature, usually what that means is higher humidity, enough for fog developing. So we'll have to watch for some patchy fog potentially for a time towards sunrise. That could impact your morning commute. Right now, 67 here in Baltimore. We're at 64 at Cockeysville, 65 at Bel Air. The warmth goes all the way into the Midwest. Look at St. Louis, 80 right now. And then, boom, we go down to 52 at Billings, Montana, 53 at Salt Lake City. And why do we care about that? Well, the next weather maker is going to drag that cooler air eastbound, and it will then reinforce and shove south and east as we head into Friday and the weekend. Especially the weekend, you're really going to feel the changes. It will come with some rain potential. You see all the rain and thunderstorms, even some severe weather. Omaha up to Minneapolis, down to Wichita. And then there are winter weather advisories on the west side of that. Shows you how cold it gets behind the system. And it is going to get a lot chillier here as well. Real reality check back to fall temperatures clear. Warm conditions continuing really for the next couple of days through tomorrow as well as into Thursday, even Friday. But that's when